gonna check the live as well. Hi, everyone. I am just so excited today because I've got a special guest. Her name is Liz Lewis Randall, and she is one of my beautiful clients, coaching clients. And today I've got her to come to this space, and she's going to share with you her results with her business, with her life, and also share about like how did she feel, before she joined the Divine Creatrix Portal. What kind of journey did she experience during the portal? What kind of support she experienced during the portal, and the kind of results that she has created for her life and her business. So I'm just really excited to have her on board. Liz, give us like a little introduction of like who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I am a manifestation coach, but I'm still very much in the early stages of my journey. I'm also a reflexologist on the side, and that was what I was very much originally been doing over the last 5 years. But at the beginning of this year, 2022, which is a magical number for manifestation, this is when I really embarked on my journey of not just throwing myself into the world of manifestation, but also learning all the techniques and tools of how I can teach that to other people and help them, live the life of their dreams, basically. And because I've been through the journey of being in a horrible corporate job for many, many years and going through that process of quitting and really trying to find myself, this is something that I just really wanted to be able to share with other women and be able to help them do the same thing.
And what like powerful work that you are doing. It's just so needed in this world to have mentorship and coaches that are out there supporting other people to really create the reality that we want, or creating the business that we want, and having that guidance like alongside us as we are walking that path. And before I ask you the question, I just want to say like how you completely blown my mind with the kind of results you got on like tangible results and non-tangible results. I mean, when I think first of all, I am just so grateful and so honored that we are walking that path together. And it's just like an amazing feelings and experience for me as well on the other side, like watching you and seeing you and seeing like everything that you're doing, all the work that you are doing, the inner work and the external work that is allowing you to create those amazing results. And it takes a lot of bravery to get out of your own way and to allow yourself to see what your subconscious doesn't want to see. Like we develop certain mechanisms that are allowing us to not do the work and to kind of live a comfortable life, an okay life. But there are so many more levels to how we can experience this reality. So I just love that, to witness all of that and seeing you kind of move forward and just being so willing and so committed to your growth and your expansion. And I just love that so much about you. I think you're an incredible woman, and I think you're so amazing at doing what you do. So I just wanted to say that I think that's really important to kind of acknowledge. It's not like it's not for the faint-hearted.
No, it's not easy. It really isn't. And so much about my journey has been about my own self-development. And although I'm coming on to talk about not just your coaching and my experience with it, but also what it is that I'm doing and what I'm offering. Most of it is actually the deep inner work, as you say, and it's getting all those things in a row to be able to get to where I am now.
Absolutely. It's almost like that big onion and like peeling the layers little by little and allowing under the system to get used to that new level of leading our life or business. So like when you're thinking about like your life or where you were in your career before joining me on this beautiful journey, can you give us a little bit more understanding of where you were at that time?
So
that was like 5 months ago, I would say, because we are coming to our 6th month together, aren't we?
It was May time, so yeah, about 6 months ago. Yeah, 5 or 6 months ago. So basically, at the start of the year, I'd already got well and truly underway with my manifestation coaching training. So I was very much doing a lot of high vibing and learning all these wonderful techniques for myself and my own benefit. And I had been on quite a journey of transition anyway, because about 6 months leading up to the start of the year, I'd lost an awful lot of weight. So I was really trying to take care of myself, wanting to be the best mother I could be. But also I was very conscious about what I wanted to do with my life and what I wanted to put out into the world. And reflexology was the thing that I had been doing. That's what I had trained in. But to be honest, I was in that place where I just felt I needed so much more. There was only so much I could do with the reflexology, and there's only so much you can realistically earn when you're sat face to face with one person at a time. Plus, I'm someone who loves to create. I wanted something that I could do that would really, create some magic and, use all my creative juices and energies and do something to really make a difference to people. But at the time, I just, I didn't have the real know-how or the motivation or the real, and to be honest, I don't think at the start of our coaching, I truly knew what it was I wanted to do. I was very confused when I started coaching. I was thinking, right, I want to do the reflexology. I want to do the manifestation coaching. Oh, I'm also thinking that because my background's in marketing, I probably should do some marketing consultancy too, to try and earn some money. And I think at the time as well, I'd started with a direct marketing company, Spellbound, as well. So I had about 4 things on the go.
So much.
4 things that I was like, yeah, I'm going to conquer the world of all these things. And of course, I was getting completely overwhelmed, didn't know which way to turn. And I really needed help with really focusing on what it was I wanted and how to go about it. And although I sort of have a lot of knowledge with marketing and the likes, knowing now that it's so much about mindset and getting your head straight and getting yourself straight, that is why I was at the point I really needed to have a coach. I need, it was imperative, because I just felt so kind of lost, confused. I knew I was on this journey. It was my 40th birthday year, it has been. And I knew this was like the year of monumental change, monumental change, not just on a physical level or an emotional level or a mental level, but on a spiritual level. And, for me, it was just so important to really, get clear on what it was I wanted to do with my life and my business and go all out to get it and have the confidence to do that. And if I'd been left to my own devices, I'd probably still be overwhelmed and getting confused and trying to do a little bit of everything and not getting very far with any of it, really.
And that's also like sort of a human thing as well. It's not just you, it's everyone. I mean, most people being humans are very complicit with our belief system, what we can achieve, what we can't achieve. We've got some kind of like rules that we have built over time, that have got a lot to do with our conditioning, how we've been brought up, society as well, what society thinks is possible or not possible. And we kind of like form these mold of totally like limited possibilities. And I just love the fact that you have shared how you were before, and in terms of also the confusion and having that lack of clarity, because you don't need, like, I'm just talking for everyone who is watching, you don't need to be crystal clear on what you want to do before you hire a coach. You can, and that's great, but also it does help as well. If you're not feeling clear on what you want to do, this is also a good way to start. So you don't have to start with mentorship when things are turning bad or when things are turning good. It's actually just a way of life. It's just a way of running our businesses, whether it's going well or it's not going well. And when it's going well, is how can we maintain that level of doing really well, and how can we scale up in our life, in our business? And if we are going through like difficult patch where we feel unclear and confused, we don't know what path we want to take in our life or in our business, this is also a great way to get clear on that and moving powerfully in our life as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the biggest thing for me, I think, was getting that real clarity and that focus. But I already knew I was on the journey, but I wanted to get to the next level. You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't happy just plodding along and just trying to do the best I could myself, you know, throwing out little Instagram posts here and there and hoping that if I networked a bit with people that it might gain more business. And you know, none of those things were really working for me. And I just knew that I needed something monumental, something major, something life-changing. And
Direction.
you know, and direction, but also I wanted to invest in me, not invest in a website or some fancy technology that, or, you know, invest in search engine optimization or sponsored ads or marketing or any of that. I wanted to invest in me because, you know, you could have the best website in the world, you could have the best, you know, marketing strategy in the world, but if you're not invested in yourself, you're going to find it really hard to sell. So, you know, that was why the coaching was just, it was a no-brainer, and an absolute.
So do you recall like maybe a mindset shift or a clear reason to why you did that? Like, why did you choose you? Why did you choose to invest in yourself? What made you jump into hiring a coach? Was that light bulb moment where you maybe thought about it's now or never? Like,
that was how it was for me. It wasn't that. It was a now or never. Really. I just felt that I'd got to that moment in my life where I'd reached that crossroads. You know, I'd done so much work in the lead up to that point, so much development work, been on such an important journey that had got me to where I was. This was now like the springboard point, if you like. It was either I either do this now and I really make it work, or I don't, and I eventually fizzle into probably going into a part-time job just to, you know, back into part-time work because I'm a mum. Obviously having a baby, you know, affects, you know, being able to have a job, but obviously, you know, it was getting to that point now where if I can't make a success of what I'm doing now, then I will inevitably just have to go back into getting a job, which for me would be not just a failure for me personally, but it just would make me feel, you know, really unhappy and miserable. So I knew that this was something I had to do. I had to make it work.
It's a great motivation,
the only way for me to make it work is to go all in. I can't do half measures. Half measures don't work for me, unfortunately.
I know what you mean. You know, like I think right at the beginning of my career, when I also was, you know, open my business coaching, I did think about maybe I should go back into part-time in the corporate industry. I was like, fuck no, I don't want to go back in there. There was like a great motivator. I was like, I don't want to feel like miserable again and feeling like I'm not doing something that is purposeful, you know, like living my true purpose.
Absolutely.
So obviously we know, you know, like it could be quite a noisy market out there. You know, there are many coaches and many mentors out there. What did you like? Why did you choose me? Why did you choose to work with me? And why did you want to like get into that container with me?
Okay, so I wasn't even sure. I wasn't even specifically looking for coaching, actually. I knew I wanted to do something to get to the next level, and I knew I needed help in some way, but I wasn't sure what necessarily that means was. And through sort of shared connections, I came across you on social media, and I was very, very inspired by all the things you were posting. And I had that kind of like no trust with you anyway, because of mutual friends or mutual people we know, and also the fact that you used to work out of the Neal's Yard store in Totnes, which is where I was working. And so obviously I started following you and getting immersed in all your stuff. And you know, I just so inspired by it. I think it was the fact that you just tell it how it is. Your energy is so high vibe. It's so direct. I love that directness. And you just seemed like so much fun and full of so much knowledge and magic. And I just, before I even knew that I wanted coaching, it was like, I need this woman in my life. I don't know how. I have to meet Sabrina somehow, and I need her in my life. And this was even before even thinking about like going on a call with you or signing up to coaching or anything like that. And as it happens, a couple of people I know were already having coaching with you through various means, some one-on-one, some through group coaching. So they were already singing your praises from, you know, the treetops about how amazing, and the, you know, talking about the life changes they were having. So already I was thinking, okay, this is amazing, this is magic. And I think we'd been chatting on Instagram, and then you talked about, let's have a call. And I thought to myself, oh, well, I don't know if I want to have a call, because then I might have to pay for something.
Oh yeah, I love
and then
that.
I thought, do you know what? It's a call, I don't have to sign up to anything. I just do the call and just see what happens. And literally from the moment I got on the call, I was just so transfixed, so excited, so inspired, so happy to think of all the exciting things that we could do together to seriously up level myself. Actually, I was actually thinking more in terms of myself. Obviously the business is the outcome, brilliant, but actually the journey is about everything that's going on in my mind and all the things I want to do to improve my confidence, my self-belief. And yeah, as of course there's a lot of strategy stuff in there, which is amazing, and of course you need that. But for me, I cannot state enough how important it is having that self-mastery work that you do so well, and you teach so well, and you're such a guiding light for this stuff. And I could see all that straight away on the call I had with you. So it was this has to be done.
You signed up on the same
I did on the call. I said, we're doing this. Yeah,
I love that. I don't have to say no, and then you're like,
It was scary though, I'm not going to lie, when I came off the call, because it is an investment. I was going to ask you actually.
It's
an investment. It's a big investment financially, but then you have to look at the big picture. And of course, the big picture for me is, yes, of course, this makes absolute sense. But for I would say the first 2 weeks of saying yes, I was like, oh my goodness me, oh my gosh, have I done the right thing?
What have I done?
But then actually, as time went on, in fact, from the time we actually, because I think there was a 2-week gap between signing up with you and actually starting the sessions.
Right.
Once we started, any doubts or fears very, very quickly dissipated, because straight away we were deep diving and going straight into the work, and and it's just given me something to focus on every week, something to work towards, and also being accountable. If I didn't have you to be accountable to, honestly, I mean, nothing would get done. I'd be procrastinating, I'd be making excuses.
Always do that, isn't it?
Yeah, or I'd be getting distracted. And don't get me wrong, those things still happen. Yeah, I'm not perfect.
No, we know.
My goodness, the amount I have achieved in the last 6 months, I wouldn't have anticipated achieving in the next 6 years, to be honest. You've totally changed my expectations of what can be realized, what can be achieved. I would think to myself, right, well, maybe in 2 years time I might start doing that. No, I can do it now. There's nothing stopping me from doing these things now.
And I think you mentioned like the fear, and it's totally kind of like normal. Like I do have fear, each time I invest, especially when we're not used to invest in ourselves. It can feel like quite a big amount to go, oh my God, this is for me. Am I deserving that enough? Am I worthy enough? And it brings back like a lot of insecurities. And I think like the transformation really starts when we are saying yes to ourselves, and when we have those emotions come up. Because I feel like, well, for me, I mean, this is true, and I know for many people it is as well, is that what is my family going to think? They're going to think I'm completely crazy investing that kind of money. They're going to, I'm going to rethink about my past, about, my relationship with money, like feeling always that scarcity. And of course, when you actually choosing yourself and you're paying like a good amount of money for the transformation and the work we do, it can feel pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah, it can, but I think the way I look at it is people are quite happy to spend similar money on a cruise or a nice holiday to the Caribbean. And don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with that. Obviously, people need holidays, and that's wonderful. But once you've gone on that 2-week trip, it's done, it's dusted, and all you have is a nice memory, and obviously you got a chance to recharge your batteries. Whereas this is something that's gonna benefit you for the rest of your life exponentially, not just how it's going to change you as a person, and how it changes how you feel about yourself and the love you have for yourself and your confidence, but of course it's that ripple effect, isn't it? The effect it's going to have on your business, the fact that you're going to have the confidence to make a business that's going to earn you amazing money and get amazing clients. And of course, once you start doing that, you're going to be a much happier person. So you're generally going to have a better life. You're going to have, you know, more time and energy for your family, your friends. And, you know, it's really looking at that big picture that, and when you look at it in that way, actually the investment, it actually seems small. Actually, when you look at the big vision for the rest of your life, particularly when you compare that to spending that same money on a 2-week holiday that's done.
So, I mean, it's such a good example, and I totally understand what you're saying, what you're sharing here, because I mean, literally, you know, what does it cost to, if we could press a button that guarantees us like to be happy, like would we press it? Like, of course we would press it, you know.
Absolutely.
And that's worth millions. You know, there's no really a price. It's really difficult to put a price on that kind of transformation. And also, I feel like doing that inner work on ourselves, like you said, change like us and the way we operate in life, the way we lead our business, our life, like exponentially, at such a deep level that everything else changes around us. And also, when you are taking that cruise, like, how would you show up in that cruise knowing that you are with less baggages, with less hang-ups, with less limiting belief, that you've bursted quite a lot of that, like feeling clearer and lighter? You would definitely enjoy that cruise much more. So it's like, 100%. It's almost like, maybe at the beginning we have to make choices and really understanding our priorities, growth over entertainment, perhaps for a while. But then when money comes in and when you feel happier, like how amazing it is to go on an experience like that and to go on holiday when you are feeling that different.
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree with you more. Absolutely. And it's almost like, you know, once you've got into that magical zone and that flow, that, like you say, when you do have that downtime, you can enjoy it so much more. And you can play bigger, you know, where you might have only been able to afford a 2-week Caribbean cruise. And before, you know, once your business starts thriving, you can do a 2-month Caribbean cruise.
I know. And you can probably work on the cruise, maybe.
Absolutely.
With your laptop. You talked about fear, you know, upon joining. What did you have to have a conversation with yourself around that, around like overcoming this like initial fear?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I suppose it's I had to tell myself to look at that big picture.
Right.
Obviously, you know, once I started easing into the coaching sessions and seeing what amazing benefit I was getting from them and how good I was feeling, you know, I'd come off at the end of the call feeling so good. The fears did disappear quickly. But I suppose to begin with, when I was feeling, you know, kind of like, oh my goodness, that's such a huge amount of money, you know, and sort of questioning it and worrying about it. It was almost like I had the fear, but it was almost like, well, I've made that commitment now.
Yeah.
I have to go with this. I can't just, because I'm someone who does have integrity. I would never make a commitment to someone unless, you know, unless something horrific happened, you know, but, you know, if I've made the commitment to say, this is what I'm signing up to and this is what I'm doing, I'm not going to turn around a week later and go, oh, actually, no, sorry, I've changed my mind.
Yeah.
So because I knew that I'd made that decision with a whole body made that decision. Despite the fear, I was like, okay, well, I do feel fear, but it's happening. So I've just got to ride with it.
And do you know what was happening behind that fear? Like, what kind of thoughts were triggering that fear?
Oh, I suppose it's, you know, it's a lot of it's around money. I think most people's fears are around money and thinking, you know, am I going to get the results I want from this? Right. Am I good enough? You know, do I deserve to invest in myself? You know, do I deserve to spend this on me? Should that money be going to, you know, savings or, I don't know, a repair in the home or something, you know, more menial. But I think, you know, it's just down to the sort of normal insecurities, really, you know, just thinking whether you're good enough, whether you've got the money. And, you know, I'm just thinking, like you say, what are other people going to think, you know? But I've got to that point now where I only care what I think, to be honest. I'm getting fed up with caring what other people think.
It's been really it's been like really locked in, that decision and knowing why you're doing it. So tell us a little bit about like how has it been for you during the past 6 months? How has it been in that how has been your journey in that container?
Oh, it's been absolutely incredible. It's literally, even like other people have said, notice changes in me and things, you know, like my parents and the like, you know, noticing that so many changes. I mean, gosh, I really don't know where to begin. There's been so many. Definitely my confidence, that has definitely improved massively. I'm a lot more confident in what I'm doing. I feel like I can be a lot more bold with what I'm posting on Instagram. And also a lot more intentional with what I'm doing. Obviously, we've already spoken about the huge clarity piece. I mean, you know, I'd gone from a place of really not knowing what I wanted to do and trying to put too many fingers in too many pies to being completely tunnel vision focused on exactly what I want to do and how I'm going to do it. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it's around self-belief, feeling a lot more confident, not overthinking things as much as I used to, and also just going with the flow more, not stressing over every little detail. And although I have had periods over the 6 months where I've had moments where I've struggled and thought, oh, am I doing this right or not? I've not allowed it to consume me like I would have done in the past. Yeah, sorry, there's so many. I'm just trying to.
Yeah. So, and for those who are watching, who are outside of the Divine Creatrix Portal, outside of that container, that wants to know like what's in it, like how do you feel in that container in terms of the sessions and the support you are getting and your emotions around that?
Yeah, so basically, I just feel like I'm completely held. I have the most unbelievable support. And what is so beautiful is obviously you've got that intense support during the 60-minute coaching session that you have each week, of which we cover all sorts of things from, you know, the kind of strategies to put into place, really easy, doable, fun strategies that, you know, make it more, you know, achievable. Whereas in the past, you know, it always seemed like an absolute mountain and really difficult. But also the deep dive into all the mindset work as well, looking at how to challenge all these limiting beliefs. I've absolutely loved some of the NLP stuff you've been doing. I mean, you've really helped me completely change the way I feel about some seriously deep-rooted issues that I have held since childhood, teens, you know, since my early adulthood. And that you know, those have all made an amazing difference. But I think again, it's that accountability as well, and it's knowing that I have your absolute support round the clock, because I know that you're there on Voxer. So if I have something I just want to share, or, you know, ideas or to bounce things, I know that I can do that, and that, you know, within a day you'll come back, and, you know, knowing that you've got my back basically. But the sessions themselves, they're just amazing. I just feel like you invest so much energy into me, you know, during those moments, and that you're completely invested. And when I'm telling you all my things and limiting beliefs and bullshit, of which I have a lot, you see straight through it. You're literally like, you cut straight through it, and, you know, you really help me peel off the onion and getting to places that I wouldn't normally allow myself to get to, because I'm too lazy, or it's too painful, or maybe I don't even know what it is that is causing the issue.
And I think it's not really about, you know, being lazy at all. It's just really hard work, really. You know, it's like we know that if we are looking within, and we know that we are trying to dismantle some of the belief, it almost like shakes the whole belief system that we have. And that takes practice, and that takes us to be willing to be outside of the comfort zone, looking at it, going, you know, dismantle it, and like making it weaker and weaker, and adopting a new way of being, and embodying the new energy of what is going to get us to create that bigger version. So yeah, it's not, you know, we all can relate to that. It's not laziness. I think it's all like to do with resistance. The brain is so clever and so cute and sweet at stopping us from looking within and keeping us safe, like false sense, I think, of safety, and keeping us okay. And
But I think the other thing as well, that's really unique, is it's a lot of coaches out there might just offer life coaching,
right?
You know, as in how to, you know, be better in yourself and how to sort yourself out. Others might just do business coaching. Yours is just like this magical, perfect blend that weaves in all the life coaching elements, you know, the self-development, self-mastery, but there's the whole business strategy stuff intertwined within that. And it's blended together in such a magical way. I mean, so much of what you say and so much of your thought process and everything it's got that real sprinkling of spiritual. It's got that real sprinkling of a lot of the manifestation principles are very much how you work. And that's what I love. I think that's probably why I was naturally drawn to you, because of the way you look at things and because of the way you explain things as well. It's that sort of perfect alignment with, you know, where you are in the universe and you know, being able to high vibe and, you know, get the life you want.
Yeah, it's lovely, and I love that, like hearing that from you, because sometimes like I'm so caught up in like what I do, and it is true, like I just love to offer that like holistic approach. I think it's so key to understand you and my other clients as being totally humans and having this spiritual journey on this earth. And the business is an extension of our lives and how we feel. So if we are not feeling good, you know, with our partner, our children, it's so important, I think, to bring that up in the session so we can clear things. We can have tools and strategies and ways of seeing it from a different perspective that is more empowering and understanding how to reframe. And then we can just move on into the business as well within that and weave everything into it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I love that. I love the energy work and the mindset work and self-mastery and mindfulness and really getting ourselves to be totally vulnerable so we can really get deep and get the stuff out. And also that having the dry ingredient, that's how I call them, like dry ingredient, which is like processes, systems, strategies, social media and all of that. Yeah.
I mean, goodness, you've helped me reframe so many things over the past 6 months. There are so many things that I just think about so differently now.
Yeah.
You know, you've helped me, you know, when you say about not putting a label on things, you know, not giving something a name, you know, when you're overthinking something, don't give it airtime almost, you know, don't make it a thing. You know, and all about all your amazing tips, which I should know as a manifestation coach, but sometimes I need reminding, and that's how to get back into that flow state, you know, that feminine flow energy, you know, where you're letting go. And, you know, other things that you said to me as well. I mean, the other one that comes to the forefront is finding pleasure in everything you do, even the mundane, you know, even the everyday stuff. Find pleasure in everything you do. Even I mean, that's breathing. Just 2 or 3 tiny examples. I mean, you've got a toolkit that's like massive and you know, but these things are things that have really resonated with me. And, you know, when I'm going into my moments of feeling like, I will remember certain things that you've said to me and I'll think, aha, yes, okay, take a step back, just breathe, be present, you know, don't. And all those little things have added up because, you know, over this 6 months, the change has been huge.
Yeah. And it's like, I think like you've mentioned something about, the tools and all the tips that I've got in, you know, in my toolkit and how you have them as well, but sometimes you can't see that, right? And it's the same thing for me, you know, like I've got so many tools, I've got so many things, and obviously they are helping me. But when I get on a call with my own coach, it's like, I don't hear that from myself. You know, she's like, I'm like, oh yeah, I know this already. Like, why am I not doing it? Why am I like resisting it? So I think having that person that has your back next to you that can just go dip, 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 and you're like, oh, okay, I'm just like buying into my own stories. I'm buying into my own like belief as well, which are stopping me from growing or moving forward. And
absolutely. I don't think anyone can be an amazing coach without having their own amazing coach, you know, because it's one thing, you know, offering advice, but you know, you have to be able to get it off other people as well.
Because also it's not just about the actions that we are taking, is how we are taking them, the energy and the mindset behind each action, and how consistent we are doing the action with the right energy behind. And the thing is, I always say that is that I think like I'm a business coach, and I can say to anybody out there, it's like, sure, you can get clients. That's without a coach. You can do that. yeah, sure, you can reach 5K, maybe 10K if you want, without any coaches, the support of a coach. But how difficult it is, like how difficult is that going to be, and how much time is that going to take, and how much like headache and overthinking, and how much trial and errors, how much more like you're on track, and how much time are you going to spend off track and on track and off track and on track. And can you actually create consistent 5K, 10K? And it's not only about the money, but can you create consistency in the energy that you are bringing up to your business or to your life? No. Like,
No.
without any mentor that we have, like no mentors, we cannot keep that consistency. That's not possible.
No, I totally agree with that. I couldn't agree more. You need to have that person there helping you, you know, guiding you, keeping you accountable, and, you know, like you say, showing you all those ways to do things in less time, but doing more, you know, more productive.
And with pleasure and joy as well.
Absolutely. And yeah, like you say, with the right energy.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, gosh, if I didn't have you and I was taking on all this stuff, I'd be getting so stressed and overwhelmed that, to be honest, I think fairly early on I'd say, you know what, this isn't for me. It's too hard. I'm not doing it.
It's too hard.
And then I'd go into the part-time job or whatever, and then I'd feel completely deflated and depressed and miserable. And I mean, I still have days now, don't get me wrong. I still have some days where I think, you know what, this is hard, this doing your own business thing. It's you know, it is hard. But if, like you say, if you can get yourself in, do the daily work and get yourself into that right frame of mind, get yourself in the right energy, and have someone there supporting you by your side every step of the way, it just makes it so much easier and so much more pleasurable as well.
I think we have to normalize as well. Like, let's put a disclaimer here. If anybody is watching, it's like, running a business is not easy. It's not for the faint-hearted. Otherwise, everybody would do it. Everybody would be like fucking like millionaires. It takes a lot of guts, and it takes a lot of being willing to be uncomfortable and do the actions that are really uncomfortable. And I have hard days as well. I've got days where I cry and I'm like, oh, this is so hard. And then knowing that I've got support by my side, I'm like, yes, we can so do this. And but yeah, it's sometimes you hear people going, no, it's so easy and stuff like that. Is a fucking lie. It's not easy. Yes, it would be easier and it can be effortless, but effortless doesn't mean no effort. There is effort, and there is like there are hard days as well. So Liz, talk to me about the juicy bit as well. Like, do you have any results that you want to share with whoever is watching? Maybe tangible results, non-tangible, like, you pick.
Okay. No, I mean, I've had a lot of results. I mean, obviously the biggest ones have been the mindset shifts. Those have been huge for me. You know, when I'm having a bad day, it doesn't, you know, it will just last a few hours, or it might last a day. Before I started having coaching with you, a bad day would turn into a bad few weeks. You know, I could be low for quite a few weeks and just generally really sort of wallowing in my self-pity. So now I now am able to pick myself up a lot more quickly. Again, it's drawing on that amazing toolkit of yours and all the things that I know that I've got there at my fingertips to instantly, you know, get myself back into the place I need to be. And it's just helped me break things down into bite-sized chunks. The biggest thing is the absolute clarity. I mean, again, you know, I went the start of this process, I was trying to do 4 things, which I didn't really know which one I really wanted to do. I wanted to do all of them. I wanted to do none of them. And now we have that absolute focus on exactly what it is.
One thing.
The one thing, because even the reflexology is now going to only be a hobby. It's not a business, it's a hobby. Obviously, you know. So yeah, this is what I'm dedicating my entire time to, and that is the manifestation coaching, and that is a big thing for me to drop those.
It's a massive win.
You know, a massive win, because you know, reflexology is something I have invested a huge amount of time and effort in. So it's a big decision to say that that's not what I'm going to be moving forward with. You know, and to frame it in a positive light, not oh, I failed at that, but actually no. that is the journey I took to get me to where I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously there's loads and loads of feelings of just generally elevating anyway, you know, just in myself, again with the NLP work, you know, a lot of really deep things, deep rooted issues with ex-boyfriends and the like that really have paled into insignificance. I just want to add actually that since we did that NLP session with this ex-boyfriend that has been a persistent pest in my subconscious, I've barely thought, I don't think I've think apart from a couple of days after the session where I thought about him, I haven't thought about him since. In fact, it's the first time I'm talking about it. So that was a massive win for me.
Yeah, that is a massive win.
The strategy piece has been incredible. Really learning how to find my voice and my authentic voice and how to structure Instagram posts. There's so much noise out there from so many people saying this is what you should do and not do, and it's so easy to get overwhelmed by what other people are doing as well, and to actually have a real simple, clear strategy that works, that is effective, is amazing. And you know, that's something I'm really excited about at the moment, because I'm literally about to launch my properly launch my strategy moving forwards for my Instagram. And of course my coaching package. Now this is a huge win for me, because even with having coaching with you, I thought yes I've got my coaching package, you know, in a year's time I'll launch it, you know when once I've done all the other stuff I need to do, like sort out my brain and get all my other little ducks in a row. And what you have done, Sabrina, is you stopped me from wasting all this time and just made me realize that actually I haven't got to wait for this perfect website, or you know, this perfect day in the future, or all these other elements that we like to tell ourselves that we need before we can go all out. And yeah, basically you've not only helped me launch my manifest mission, the big success I had was offering this to 5 ladies, and I got fully booked straight away with 5 women signing up to the course, and all of them absolutely loved it, and you know, it really helped them with, you know, getting themselves to start manifesting more in their lives and high vibing and feeling good in themselves, and even helping them get clear on
that's so good,
you know, that they're trying to achieve, you know, from whether it's, you know, in their businesses, or what their big ultimate vision is at the end, you know, for their whole lives. Or just for some people, it was just about doing the daily work, you know, just getting to that place where they're feeling good in themselves, as opposed to feeling like everything's a struggle. And when you first mentioned this to me in the summer about, right, you know, well, what about doing this package and offering it out to 5 women? And I thought, yeah, okay, Sabrina. It was a sort of, okay, Sabrina, thinking, I'll do that next year sometime, maybe.
Yeah.
And actually getting to that point of actually not just doing it, but being successful at it. And you know, it's completely catapulted me from thinking I could be a good manifestation coach to knowing I'm a good manifestation coach.
Yes,
and knowing that this is 100% what I want to do, not this is what I think I'm gonna do, this is what I am doing. And bringing these things into reality, actually making it happen, you know, making this things I want to achieve starting to happen. And I would never have done all that stuff without you, even if I'd just done my own manifestation coaching on myself, you know, followed all the stuff I teach other people, but just done it on myself without any support from any outsiders, I would not be where I am now. I really wouldn't. If you can't do it on yourself, you need someone to help you.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's impossible, nearly, really. But I remember seeing that post on Facebook, and then you edited it and you're like, fully booked. And I was like, yes, that is amazing. I was like doing a happy day.
Well, another big win as well is I really thought that I was going to have to start offering it out to my friends. I was thinking, right, well, my backup plan will be to go on my Facebook and offer this out to my personal friends. And that was what I told myself, that probably it would mainly be friends doing it. And it wasn't. It wasn't. There were other ladies out there that were inspired and wanted to do it. And it just gave me so much benefit, you know, coaching those women who I'd never met before, I didn't know, and really grew my confidence. And it would have been a completely different exercise if I'd only been coaching, you know, friends who I've known for years and years.
Yeah. Amazing.
So
And I know
yeah,
you've got
huge win.
more results. Like we're basically like celebrating Liz's wins every single week. So I know that there is always like so many different things to celebrate. So it was quite hard, I think, to pick some of your wins and big results. So we are still working together and still like with the first round of the Divine Creatrix Portal. And Liz has just re-enrolled for January for another 6 months. We haven't even.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
And I'm like, yeah, my God, this is a beautiful, like, hell yes client, committed to her expansion and her growth. So tell us a little bit about like how that is for you and why did you enroll and how did you feel?
Yeah, so this time around it felt really different actually. I was actually about to go into the gym when I had my epiphany moment. And it was a real high vibe moment as well. And I was feeling really good about myself. And I was conscious as well that this particular 6 months was coming to a close. And I think in my particular case, because there'd been so much confusion at the start as to which direction I wanted to go, I feel like I'm just one of those people that just needed a bit more time. And I feel that because the first couple of months of the coaching was around getting clear and, you know, trying to banish all these beliefs that I had held, of which there were so many. I've got to this magical point now where I finally know exactly what I want to do, but I just feel like, you know, I don't want to just leave it there. You know, I feel like I'm on the precipice of where the magic is really about to happen. You know, it's like this is the moment, you know, this is the moment where things are really going to start to move. And I am just not ready at this point to just say, okay, thank you very much. That was great. I need that continued support, not forever, but for another 6 months, because I know that this is going to really, really springboard where I want to be. Because, you know, I've gone from someone who didn't know what I want to do to someone who knows exactly what I want to do now and has got the confidence to do it. That was step one. Step two is I now want to go from someone who's just starting out my business to those 10K months.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Why shouldn't I have those 10K months? Why shouldn't anybody?
Yeah. And then reinvesting in your business with that as well.
Investing,
you know, in software
and actually,
hiring a team and all of that. And
yeah, exactly. And, you know, this is the thing, like, right, I've just started my business now. What is the most sensible thing I can invest in? And it's still me, actually. It's still me. I haven't moved on to that point of websites yet. It's still me that I want to invest in, because I still feel there's so much more work to be done. And I have enjoyed the process so much, and I literally feel like the doors are only just, you know, really opening to that next level.
I know what you mean. It's like having that flavor, that little taste. You're like,
yes,
I could have a whole cake.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, that's exactly it. That is exactly it. You know, I'm ready to really scale it up now. Like,
I can see that.
level.
I'm just so excited for that. I cannot wait. And it is a process. It is like, this is also what matters. It's not just the end goal, but also everything that is happening now until where you reach your first milestone, and then your second milestone, and then your third milestone. But yeah, it's the journey is so amazing.
Yeah, and
that liberation, feeling more and more liberated.
Totally. And this was again, I felt this decision in my body, and the fear that I had the first time round, it wasn't there. There was no fear at all. It was just 100% trust and acceptance. The only fear, I suppose, would have been in the brain. About, okay, yes, it's the money thing coming up again, you know, coinciding with what we're going through at the moment with the cost of living crisis and all that stuff. And I thought, do you know what? Now is the time. I'm not, you know, I'm not going to make any excuses. And actually now is probably the best time. Perhaps when the chips are down, that is the time to be really growing a business. You know, some of the best businesses have formed from times of recession and things. And I don't see that should be a reason not to, you know, to invest in yourself. This is the time to do it.
I love that. Me too. I think about it at the same, because I've made myself a big investment as well in my coach as well. And totally, like, for me, it's always the time is always now.
It is exactly.
So if you think about, like, I know some people might be thinking, oh, I really want to do that. I really want to join the Divine Creatrix Portal, but I don't know, my brain is freaking out. I'm not sure of what to do. If they're still on the fence, like, what kind of advice would you give them?
My advice would be to just go for it. Absolutely go for it. You would not regret your decision at all. It's literally been the best thing that's ever happened to me. Just in so many ways, but most of all, believing in myself. I've never believed in myself. I've pretty much spent my entire life hating myself, doubting myself, being deeply messed up, insecure, unhappy, essentially, and feeling like I haven't been living my authentic life at all. And you know, it's really in this last year that I really now feel like I'm living the life I want to live. And I feel good in my skin, and I feel confident, and I feel happy, and I feel I am on the true path to enlightenment. And there is no other human in the world who would have been able to help me get here as well as you have, Sabrina. It's literally just been absolutely magical. I mean, Sabrina's energy, for one, is off the scale. Not once have we ever been on a call where you've been like, oh, hi. It's always, you know, and I don't always high five. And the amount of times I've come on the call where I've perhaps felt a bit flat, and by the end of that call I'm feeling absolutely fantastic and inspired to go forth for my week and the rest of my day, my week, and everything, and actually having those action plans and those action steps of things to be doing, to be elevating and getting myself to where I want to be. It's just been absolutely phenomenal and fantastic. And I would say to anyone who wants to, really take their business to the next level in their life and who they are, and feel good in themselves, and live the life of their dreams, having the best business ever, then I'd just say, Sabrina, that's it. It's a no-brainer. Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. And
thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, it's so lovely to be having this conversation with you. I think it's so important. Like, we can talk about, I can talk about why me and why, like, how amazing my program is and all of that, but it's so different as well to hear it from an actual client, a real person, a real human. So I really appreciate you for that, Liz, and for taking that time of your life and business to come here and sharing everything with us without holding back. Would you like to maybe share a little something before we are leaving this conversation around your business, and how can people find you?
So basically I offer manifestation coaching. I have an amazing package called the Manifest Express, which is a 5-month coaching package. It basically gets you to leave your 9-to-5 hustle and become an empowered boss babe. So it basically teaches you all the tools and tricks with manifestation, getting clear, busting those beliefs, and high vibing your way to the life of your dreams. And you can find me on Instagram at Liz L Rendle, which is LIZLRENDLE. If you want tips and tricks for general following.
Thank you so much, Liz. Thank you so much. And then feel free, to go onto the video afterwards, Liz, and put your links maybe on the comments or something if you wanted. Thank you so much for coming here today, Liz. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye.